Welcome to Universal Unique Galaxy. Today I will discuss about the search of the primordial black holes. You all of knows that what is a black hole, what is the next singularity, and so on. The black hole is one of the strangest objects in our entire galaxy. But Stephen Hawking would invented that what is the primordial black holes. We cannot harness the emissions from these primordial black holes. What are our chances of observing them? We could look for the gamma rays that the primordial black holes emit during most of their lifetime, although the radiation from most would be very weak because they are far away. The total from all of them might be detectable. We do indeed observe such a background of gamma rays. However, this background was probably generated by processes other than primordial black holes. One can say that the observations of the gamma ray background do not provide any positive evidence for primordial black holes, but the tale is that, on average, there cannot be more than 300 little black holes in every cubic light year in the universe. And in this case we have to know that 1 light year equals to 9.46 into 10 to the power 27 kilometer, or 3.1 light year equal to 1 parsec, which is the biggest unit of length. By the way, this limit means that primordial black holes could make up at the most 1 millionth of the average mass density in the universe. With the primordial black holes being so scarce, it might be seen unlikely that there would be one that was near enough for us to observe on its own. But since gravity would draw primordial black holes toward any matter, they should be much more common in galaxies. If they were, say, a million times of common in galaxies, the nearest black hole to us would probably be at a distance of about 1,000 million kilometers, or about as far as Pluto, the farthest known planet. At this distance, it would still be very difficult to detect the steady emission of a black hole even if it was 10,000 megawatts. In order to observe a primordial black hole, one would have detect the several gamma rays, quanta coming from the same direction within a reasonable space of time such a week. Otherwise, they might simply be part of a background. But Planck's quantum principle tells us that each gamma ray quantum has a very high energy because gamma rays have a very high frequency. So to radiate even 10,000 megawatts would not take many quanta. And to observe these few quanta coming from the distance of the Pluto would require a large gamma ray detector than any have been constructed so far. Moreover, the more detector have to be in space because gamma rays cannot penetrate the atmosphere. Yes, it is of course. If a black hole as close as Pluto were to reach the end of this life and blow up, it would be so easy to detect the final burst of emissions. But if the black hole has been emitting for the last 10 or 20,000 million years, the chances of it reaching the end of its life within the next few years are really rather small. It might equal will be a few million years in the past or future. So in order to have a reasonable chance of seeing an explosion before your search grant are run out, you would have to find a way to detect any explosions within a distance of about 1 light year. You could still have the problem of needing a large gamma ray detector to observe several gamma ray quanta from the explosion. However, in this case, it would be not necessary to determine that all the quanta come from the same direction. It would be enough to observe that they all arrived within a short time interval to be reasonably confident that they were coming from the same burst. Our gamma ray detector that might be capable of spotting primordial black holes in the entire Earth atmosphere, we are in the case unlikely to be able to build a large detector. When a high energy gamma ray quantum hits the atoms in our atmosphere, it creates pairs of electrons and positrons. When these hit other atoms, they in turn create more pairs of electrons and positrons. So one gets what's called as electron shower. The result is a form of light called Cherenkov radiation. Cherenkov radiation is a very high powered radiation, and it was a very high frequencies also. One can therefore detect gamma ray burst by looking out for flashes of light in the night sky. Of course, there are a number of other phenomena, such as lightning, which can also give in the flashes in the sky. However, one could distinguish gamma rays burst from the sound effects and so on, and flashes simultaneously at two or more thoroughly widely separated locations. A search like this have been carried out by two scientists, number one Dublin, Neil Porter and Trevor Weeks, using telescopes in the Arizona. They found the number of flashes, but none that could be definited ascribed to gamma ray burst from the primordial black holes. Even it was such a primordial black holes proof negative as it seems it may, it will still give us important information about the very early stage of the universe. If the early universe has been chaotic or irregular, or if the pressure of the matter had been low, one could have expected it to produce many more primordial black holes than the limit set by our observation of the gamma ray background. It is only if the early universe was very smooth and uniform and with a very high pressure that one can explain the absence of observing the numbers of primordial black holes. And this is the main theme of the primordial black holes. Primordial black holes is the very big and very dangerous than the normal black holes. And who is the inventor of the primordial black hole? Our worshipped scientist Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking is widely believed to be one of the world's greatest minds, a brilliant theoretical physicist whose work helped to reconfigure models of the universe and to redefine what's in it. Imagine sitting in a room listening to Hawking discuss their achievements and place them in a historical context. It would be like hearing Christopher Columbus on a new world. Hawking presents a series of 7 lectures in every of the books covering everything from Big Bang to black holes to the string theory that capture not only the brilliance of the Hawking's mind but the character's wit as well. Of his research on black holes, which absorbed for more than a decade, he says, it might seem but looking like a black cat in a cold cellar. A great popularizer of science as far as a brilliant scientist, Hawking believes that advances in theoretical scientific would be the understandable in broad principle by everyone, not just a few scientists. And the primordial black holes lecture is one of the greatest themes of the lecture of Stephen Hawking. Thank you for hearing this. If you like this, please subscribe our YouTube channel, Universal Unique Galaxy. Thank you. We will fetch a new unique lecture for you on the next videos. Thanks.